we want to talk with you today about you closing that gap. You'll never quite get it closed because life's just going to keep taking you into a new place and a new place and a new place. So your work is to continually adjust yourself upward to the expansion that this life is causing you to accomplish. And if you keep up with it, then you feel wonderful. Then you're frisky. You feel energized. You're full of energy. You feel wonderful. But if you don't keep up with your own expansion, then you don't feel so good. And the tendency, and we get why you do it, the tendency is to want to blame circumstances or other people for the way you feel. Because after all, if they would be better, if they would behave better, then when you observe them, which is sort of kind of your habit, then you would feel good in the observation of something that is really good. You really like those around you who are so obedient, don't you? Those around you who do what you really need them to do, because after all, you do want to feel good. It is your most natural desire, the desire that is more powerfully within you, that you're born with, that supersedes all other desires, is your desire to feel good. That is your most natural state. And when you don't feel good, when you're ornery, when you're fearful, when you're overwhelmed, when you are resentful, when you feel any of those negative emotions, it always means, and it always means the same thing, and it's always a very simple thing. You're simply not up to speed with who you really are. And it's not a standard that someone else has set for you. It's a standard that you have carved out of your own life experience. It's a standard that you've discovered. When you were rude, you wanted to be nicer. When someone else was rude, you wanted them to be nicer. If you don't have enough of something, you want it. In other words, it's just the delicious, perfect, balanced contrast of this time space. You are evolving more rapidly as leading edge creators than has ever been before. The energy of source is flowing to you and through you at an unprecedented rate, which is the reason that you have all become bipolar. You are all a little manic depressive, because when you're high, oh, you fly high, don't you? And when you're not, oh, everyone should die. And that's because you've launched your rockets of desire. You've launched these rockets of desire, and the source within you, the you that is really you, has become more and more and more and more. And you've got to keep up to speed with the more that you have become, because if you don't feel so good. And that's the only reason. That's the only reason that it is important for you to keep up with you, is because if you don't feel good. The world doesn't come to an end. No one is disappointed in you. It's not anything like that. There's no judgment. It's not that something's gone terribly wrong. It's simple. You don't feel good unless you keep up with you. And it's something that you got to do all day, every day, isn't it? Because life keeps causing you to expand. Have you noticed? So the only thing that ever causes you to not feel good is that you sometimes don't keep up with your own expansion. And the reason you don't is because, oh, we love you so much. You have what is-itis. You're so interested in what is. You're so interested in this manifested stuff that is around you. And you know, that's a good thing that you are. It's what you intended, because you are on the leading edge. You're a leading edge creator. You're a leading edge creator, which means you knew that you would come here and you would move vibration into materialization. You knew that you would move it from a vibration that can be sensed into a manifestation that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, a full manifestation with all of the delicious nuances that you get to devour with your perception. That's why you're here. You're not here to be judged or to judge. You're not here to fix things that are broken. You're here as a masterful creator in a magnificent universe with all of the wherewithal to create anything that this place can inspire you to desire. And it is our desire that your time-space reality and all that you are as you interact with one another, and all that we are as we interact with you, that these co-creative aspects come together to inspire you to new desire that you or no one else has ever desired before, that you can launch new rockets of desire. And as you launch those new rockets of desires, that your belief is in a firm enough place that you know that you can be or do or have anything. That if you have the wherewithal to imagine it, that you have the wherewithal to create it, that it can manifest in that fullness that is so delicious, where not only you sense it, but those around you can observe it, especially if they're in the vibrational proximity of it. So this is a high-flying time for humanity, because you are here with all of this energy and all of this variety and all of this impetus and all of this platform, all of this balance, all of this well-being from which you are launching your new rockets of desire. So when you launch a rocket of desire, the source within you rides that rocket and becomes it fully, and broadcasts the signal of your new becoming to you all day, every day. And you can feel that signal in the form of your emotions, because the emotion is your indicator of your vibrational closeness or farness, allowance or resistance, receptive mode or not receptive mode of what you have become. Chill out, relax a little bit, trust in your own goodness and in your own well-being, and just allow yourself to receive the vibrational impetus that this is all about. Much more is going on in this room here today than words. There's a vibrational conversation that's happening, and there is something very important that we want you to know. Your source knows everything that you desire and where you stand in proximity to it, and knows the path of least resistance to get you to the fullness of what you're asking for. We want you to understand that that path of least resistance, which could better be called the path of most allowance, but we call it the path of least resistance because there is resistance that you and only you put on your physical path. In other words, the resistance that is there, you've put it there, every bit of it, and it's okay. It's all right that you've put it there. It's even natural that you've put it there. It's part of the time-space reality that you live in. We just want you to know that with all the resistance that you've put on your path, your inner being knows where that resistance is and how to call you around it. And that, dear hearts, is why it takes you sometimes longer than you think it should to get to where you want to be. You could go directly there, but we're sort of going over and under and around and through the resistance that you've laid around. And that's okay. We just want you to relax and trust that you're always going to get to where you want to be. No exceptions. You are always going to get there. Sometimes you have to croak to do it. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Or sometimes you can achieve a vibrational pattern of thought. You can get into a place of positive expectation. You can get to the place where you know that things are always working out for you, because things are always working out for you. We want you, by the end of this conversation, to have a fuller understanding of this non-physical energy that is pouring to you and through you. The angels, if you want to call it there, the benefactor, all of those like us, all of your dearly departed, who are aware of you, who are intimately aware of you, who know where you are, who know what you're thinking about, and who are thinking about what you're thinking about while you're thinking about it. Thinking about what you're thinking about while you're thinking about it. Think about that. We are thinking about what you're thinking about while you're thinking about it. And your emotion lets you know how you're thinking about it in relationship to how we're thinking about it. You can tell. So, for a while, for a long while, for most of his life, Jerry wanted to write a book. Talked to Esther about it a lot, and to us. Turning thoughts to things, because he wanted to help those like all of you understand that you do live in a vibrational universe, but how to bridge that gap in understanding of living in a vibrational universe and yet wanting material things. How do these things turn to things? How do you get things out of vibration? Well, it's a perceptual thing, isn't it? It's the receiver that perceives it. But we want you to know that you've launched all these rockets of desires, and there is a vibrational world that you have created that is magnificent. We've been calling it vortex. It's so important. A vortex that is attractive in nature, that the source within you is gathering to all manner of things, experiences, everything that you want, assembled vibrationally, ripe and ready for you to pluck it. Well, how do you pluck it? You feel your way into vibrational harmony with your own desire. And you don't let reality, which often holds the absence of it currently, you don't let it become more dominant than your vision, than your desire. You don't let what is be the reason that you offer your vibration. You let what's in your vortex be the reason that you offer your vibration, which means you want to care more about how you feel than anything else. And you want to choose your thoughts because of the way they make you feel, not because they're factual. In other words, the fact is the Ferrari isn't in the garage. Yet. Maybe. 2 of them are. So what that means is you have to focus on the feeling of it, not on the reality of it. Don't ask your neighbors to go look at it before it's there. They'll do their best to commit you. Because they don't know yet. They still think that it has to be in the garage before you get to own it. And that's the thing that we most want you to hear. You got to own it before it's in the garage. You got to love it before it's in your bed. You got to spend it. No, don't do that. Vibrationally before it's in your bank account. You got to feel your prosperity, and then it must come. You got to feel what you want. And when you think about it, everything that you want, whether it's a material object or a pile of money or a relationship or an event or a circumstance, everything that you want is because you believe you would feel better in the having of it. And what we're wanting you to understand is that you've got to figure out how to feel better before it is manifested. You've got to accept the vortex as the having of it. That's how you turn those vibrations to thoughts, and those thoughts to emotions, and those emotions to impulses, those impulses to relationships, and those relationships and encounters to things. That's how it happens. It's a process that usually is gradual. It can be very rapid. You just have to understand how it works. And that's what we're going to talk about here today. What do you want to talk about?
So part of the thing I'm having an issue with is it directly involves somebody else.
But this is the thing that we were wanting to point out to you earlier. Even though something directly involves somebody else, they are really irrelevant.
Yeah.
The only thing that is relevant is where you are and your desire. That's what's relevant.
So then how do I get past the place where I feel completely frozen, stuck, of allowing?
We're happy to talk with you about whatever it is you want to talk about here. But the specific answer to that question is you thaw out a little bit at a time. And what we just gave to you earlier about taking the 9 subjects that are working and use them as your reason to be in alignment. Here's the thing that you might not be remembering. It's a common thing that people forget. You've already asked the question. Life has already caused you to ask for what you want. Mm-hmm. And Source has already answered it. So the solution has already assembled and is ripe for your receiving of it. Mm-hmm. But you've got to get into that receiving mode in order to hear it. Mm-hmm. And so the only thing that matters is being in the receiving mode, because it's already been asked and answered. You've just got to get into the receiving mode. And so the specific answer to your question is whatever it takes for you to feel better, even if it means avoid that situation for a little while. In other words, you're sort of doing what we were saying earlier. You're taking that one thing and you're giving it so much attention. And in giving it so much attention, you're holding yourself out of vibrational alignment and then struggling with all of that when we just explained to you not to do that.
It's really funny because I believe that so much. And so I really focus on just being happy and finding the things that make me happy and then focusing on those. And I really tried to, like, when I'm sitting in the car, I'm noticing my body. It's just, I can just feel it. And I'm just like, okay, get that out of there. What am I happy about? You know, because I don't know how to change it otherwise.
You know what happens when your inner being notices your body? First of all, when your inner being notices anything, get out somewhere today. Have you seen this day out there? So when your inner being looks out at the horizon, feel what it feels like when your inner being appreciates something. And if you want to know what it feels like when your inner being appreciates something, you find something to appreciate and stay focused on it long enough that you allow your receptive mode to fully allow source energy to flow through you in this moment. So that's how your inner being feels when it focuses.